Hello, awesome people. My name is Mary. I am the teen librarian at the Scotlandville Branch Library. And this month we are going to be weaving using nothing but some soda straws and some other stuff. And with this you can make either a bracelet or a bookmark. As always, just a quick heads up, supplies are limited. First come, first serve. So when you swing by the Scotlandville Branch Library and you pick up a bag, inside you'll find 4 straws, you'll find 4 short pieces of yarn, and in our bags these will be white pieces of yarn so you can separate the short from the long. You'll have 4 longer pieces of yarn, and these will be different colors. As you can see, I've got red, I've got green, I've got this blue, yellow, green, and I've got this purple, white, blue. You'll also get some masking tape, and you will need scissors from home. If you want to do this at home, I find that your short pieces of yarn should be about 2-ish feet long. That way you can decide how long or how short you want your bracelet to be. And then I find the longer pieces of yarn, I measure about 10 feet-ish for each one. But if you're doing this at home and you just have a big ball of yarn, you don't have to cut any yarn. So, first you have to make a choice. You have to decide, do I want to make a bookmark? Do I want to make a bracelet? And once you make that decision, you need to decide how many straws you want to use for your weaving. I personally prefer 3 straws for a bracelet and 4 straws for a bookmark, but you can use as few as 2 straws, or you can use all 4 straws for either one of these projects. So I'm going to make a bracelet in this video, so I will be using 3 straws. So to start, you'll want to prepare your loom first. And the easiest way to do that is you just take your straws, you line them up, and you wrap a piece of tape around one end. Easy enough. Once your straws are taped together, take those short pieces of yarn and thread 1 piece of yarn into each straw. So if you're only using 3 straws like I am, you'll have 1 short piece of yarn left over. If you use 2 straws, you'll have 2 pieces of yarn left over. If you use all 4 straws, you'll put 1 piece of yarn into each of those 4 straws. Once you have threaded the yarn through each of the straws, pull them through until they're about even. They don't need to be perfectly even. Not all of the pieces of yarn will be cut the exact same length. Just make sure they're even-ish. Then, tie all of your short pieces of yarn together into a knot on the taped end of your straws. This will keep the short pieces of yarn from falling out of the straws while you're weaving. Don't pull the knot super tight once you tie it. You may want to untie it later if you want to make a bracelet. Once you've tied the knot, pull the tails on the other end of the straws, pull them towards you so that knot touches the tops of the straws. And with that, your loom is done and you are ready to start weaving. So to start weaving, tie a loose knot into the end of one of your long pieces of yarn, but don't pull it tight. You want to leave a little loop. Take that loop and slip it onto one of the straws. Be sure to pull the short piece of yarn through so you don't tie that short piece of yarn down when you do this. Push the loop of long yarn all the way up the straw until you touch the tape, and then pull the knot tight. Now, this step is optional, but if you're brand new to doing weaving like this, you may find it helpful. Take a piece of masking tape and just tape the end of the loom, the taped end of the loom, to your table or whatever surface you're weaving on. That'll help it stay stable while you start. Then, to start your actual weaving, take your piece of yarn and start weaving it over and under your straw. So you'll go over one straw, under the next straw, over the next straw, under the next straw, and so on and so on. If you look in the picture, it looks sort of like a zigzag. That's kind of what you want it to look like. So once you've got that zigzag going, push the yarn up to the top of the loom up there by the tape. It'll bunch up there. That's what you want. Now just keep repeating this, over, under, pushing the yarn up as you go. until you're ready to change colors or until you reach close to the end of that long piece of yarn. When you're ready to change colors or when you're reaching the end of that long piece of yarn, make a loop around one of the straws and thread the tail through that loop and pull it tight to tie a knot. If you've got a long tail on the end, like you're changing colors in the middle of your yarn and you haven't run out just yet, trim it short, but leave a tail about probably an inch or so long. You don't want to trim it totally short just yet. Then just repeat. Do the same thing you did to start, but with your next color of yarn. Tie your knot, slide it onto the straw, pull it tight, and begin the over, under weaving, pushing it up as you go. So when you're done weaving, when you've made a bracelet that's as long as you want, when you've made a bookmark that's as long as you want, tie the yarn, tie that long piece of yarn off the same way you did to start with your first colors. Then remove the tape from the top of the loom, but do not untie that knot that you tied at the top. Don't do that yet. If you do that, you might risk losing all of your progress, and that is not fun. So take a look and see what I'm doing to remove the straws from my weaving. As you can see, I'm holding the green part down, but I'm not holding it hard. I'm not pressing down. I'm just holding it all in place. And I'm pulling the straw out from the bottom. You'll want to do the exact same thing. Hold it down where you finished your weaving and just gently pull the straws out. Don't press down too hard because you may pull the knot into your weaving, and that's just a pain in the rear to, actually pull back out. So just take it slow, don't rush it, pull it gently. Now it's kind of hard to see, but I'm taking those tails from where I tied at the end in the beginning, and I'm pulling those tight to keep the weaving where it is on those short pieces of yarn. You'll want to do the same thing, unless you want your yarn to, slide up and down your short pieces of yarn. If you want them to do that, fair enough. But I don't. I like mine to stay where they are. And voila. But wait, there's more. Once the straws are off, you'll want to tie all of those short pieces of yarn at the bottom. You'll want to tie those into a knot as well. That'll keep the yarn from falling off of the bottom. That would not be fun if they did. Now, if you're wanting to make a bracelet and you find that your weaving isn't long enough to actually wrap around your whole wrist, you can take those tails from the short pieces of yarn and you can braid them together, or you can tie a whole bunch of knots, or you can make like a extra strap using those short pieces of yarn. If you do decide to braid it though, be sure to tie a knot at the end of your braid, otherwise your braid will come undone and that's not fun. So if you decided to make a bookmark, you're done. You can stop the video here and you can enjoy your brand new bookmark. But if you decided to make a bracelet, take those short pieces of yarn and tie them together, tie those tails together so you can slip it onto your wrist. Easy enough. And with that, you are done. These make for super cute little personalized gifts for friends and family. So if you have the time to swing by and grab the stuff to make one of these, or you have the stuff to make one of these at home, I really hope you give it a shot. I hope you have a very happy holiday season and a very happy new year. And remember, stay awesome.